Well, we won't know until this evening whether football really is coming home. But what I can tell you right now is that following this week's confirmation of Freedom Day, Church Central South are most definitely coming home to King Edward's on Sunday the 5th of September. So you can go ahead and mark that date in your diary in permanent ink. Now I'm aware, after 16 months of hurt, some of us may actually be less than excited by this news. There's perhaps the nagging fear that our hopes will be dashed at the last minute all over again, or we may be so weary of change that sort of having to adjust what we do on Sundays all over again isn't particularly motivating. Or it could simply be that we quite like things as they are. I mean, watching the meeting from the comfort of our home or inviting a few friends over for raw church certainly has its merits, doesn't it? And so, to help us navigate through all of this, I want to very quickly remind you of a couple of really vivid pictures that God's given us as a church over the years that I think are incredibly helpful in shaping our perspective as we move forward. The first picture is of the church as a military hospital. Now, I think if we fall into the trap of thinking of the church as more like a hotel, then our preferences and comfort are of paramount importance. But we're not on holiday. No, we're on a mission. We're believing for the day, aren't we, when Jesus is the most talked about person in Birmingham. We're called to be for the good of our city, and we're sent to impact the nations of the world. And none of this is going to happen without a battle. You don't need me to tell you that the Christian life certainly isn't easy. It's pretty hard work a lot of the time. And the last 16 months have been particularly brutal. Most of us, I think, are bruised and battered. Many of us are carrying scars. A number of us have more serious wounds. And so what we need right now isn't a hotel, but a hospital. Although a spa day with our friends would be nice, it's essential that we get access to specialist treatment. Now, in all of this, please don't hear what I'm not saying. Our community groups have been absolutely fantastic, and I'm profoundly grateful for the ongoing care and support that they're providing. And I know for many, Raw Church has been incredibly refreshing over the last few weeks. I love the way so many of us have dug deeper into church community through this time. Please rest assured that we're thinking through really carefully how to continue the momentum we've got in these areas, both in terms of deepening community and also being more flexible and innovative in our church gatherings. However, in all of this, I believe we do still need our wider church family. And for that matter, the wider church family still needs you too. I tell you, personally, I'm so looking forward to worshipping again with others, experiencing the leading of the Spirit, being stirred by the passion of other people's prayers, being able to look people in the eyes when I'm preaching, being encouraged by conversations over coffee with people I haven't seen for so long, seeing the kids having fun together. But even more than all of that, I believe God has given specific gifts for the strengthening of the church, whether it's people like apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors and teachers, or gifts of the Spirit like prophecy, healing, spiritual songs, tongues, interpretations, words of encouragement and wisdom that just don't work the same in pre-recorded video or on Zoom or even with 6 people in a room. I absolutely believe that God can meet with us anywhere. But as I look back over my life, God has often done his best, his most unexpected and his most profound work in me when I've gathered with the church. And I understand that your experience over the last 16 months might make it hard for you to gather back with the church, but I tell you, that is exactly why you need to. You may be feeling lethargic right now. You could be lacking zeal, a bit broken, incredibly busy, distracted, disconnected, devoid of vision, beginning to lose faith. Doubts are creeping in. Or maybe you're just complacent and comfortable as you are. But as we gather, God will heal, mend, restore, challenge, confront, provoke, strengthen, recharge, and refocus us back on the mission he's called us to. And so please, view King Edward's as a military hospital, a place to go to be refreshed and repaired and refueled for the battle that lies ahead. Second picture I want to share with you is of the church as a busy airport, with many new people landing with us, many people being sent out from us to the nations. And that's certainly been our experience over the years, hasn't it? We've done the research, and over 60% of our church community joined us as students, or they moved to the city for the first time. And for these groups, King Edward's has been a crucial landing point into Church Central. And we've also had the joy, haven't we, of sending a whole bunch of people overseas: Rich and Judy, Helen, Andy and Heather, Steve and Danielle, and soon Jess as well. And of course, we'll also send out Church Central West and Church Central North, and during the last lockdown, Church Central East. Now, the thing about an airport is it's never the end destination. Like, if you ask where I went on a holiday, I don't say Birmingham Airport, but it's often crucial for getting where I really want to go. And I think that is part of the role that King Edward's has played and needs to continue to play for us into the future. The church is so much more than a 90-minute gathering at King Edward's on a Sunday, but gathering in this way is an invaluable launch pad for getting where we want to go and drawing new people in. And so, all that to say, the big message is Church Central South is coming home to King Edward's on September the 5th. Between now and then, we'll continue to enjoy Raw Church and Central House Sundays, and hopefully a holiday at some point too. However, once the summer's over, please, let's embrace the freedom we now have to gather all together. It's going to be a wonderful opportunity to celebrate God's faithfulness to us since March 2020, to lay out our vision for what lies ahead, and of course, there's the no small matter of officially sending out our East Site, a large portion of whom weren't even part of our church at all before COVID struck. And I know it's not going to be easy for everyone, and we don't know exactly how the next term will play out. But I'd want to appeal to you, please, let's overcome all of that and commit to joining together as a whole church from the beginning of September with fresh expectation for what God will do among us.